Roy Davis.
I wasn't even close.
Should we do the music? Let's do the music. When we both hit it. Hold it out, hold it out, hold it out. Hit it.
Wasn't even close, by the way.
Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive.
The Deep Dive.
Featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Monitor and Drew Dinzik. Powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. This is Roy Davis's world. We're just living in it. Let's talk about week 6. It is... I mean, I had a weird week, I guess. My biggest need was Thursday, and so I felt a little feet up. I had a low stakes on almost everything I had in play on Sunday. And then on Sunday, it was a wonderful morning. And then Sunday afternoon, it was a bloodletting. It was not anything to even really cheer for. I had some Falcons, which was nice, but not much. And I had some Broncos and Cowboys, which sucked. And then, not really. We got lucky, I think, on Bengals second half in the night game, so I'll take it. But
that was a strange game,
week, but
it didn't. If you look at some advanced stats for the Giants, they did play better than the scoreboard maybe, but at the same time, just like watching that game, it didn't feel like they deserved to cover or win.
No,
like they made some pretty bad mistakes, and we got the guy to run the ball in when he probably should have fallen down. Those are all going opposite right now. The guy who fell down earlier in the week that should have kept going, and then this was it Brown? Just Chase Brown? Did he tote that in for us? It was pretty.
It was
nice.
Chase
I
Brown.
Enjoyed that. I enjoyed some Chase Brown. Roy Kent. Yeah, that's from a TV show.
My only regret Jones was Roy Fultrig in The Client. I don't think that was what I was thinking of, though.
The Client.
Anyway.
You know what I watched the other day was The Firm. I'd forgotten about The Firm.
That is a great flick. That is a great flick, yeah.
It's pretty good. It's
confusing
I think it's number
plot.
2 for me. Yeah, it gets a little deep. Obviously, John Grisham, the GOAT John Grisham, movie is A Time to Kill.
Yeah. Without question.
Just a fucking cavalcade of stars. That is the 92 dream team of like an ensemble cast.
Yes.
You got both Sutherlands. Anyway, my only regret from
You're right.
My only regret from week 6 was I get busy on Sunday mornings, especially with London, finish the newsletter, feed the kids. I only had one hanging out with me that day. But I got done. I had some other articles to write, and I didn't really double check anything with the big Jaguars team because I made Chicago like a 1.5 favorite.
Okay.
And, it was sitting there at what? Like pick Jags -1 maybe?
It got that low?
I feel like it was a lot lower to start the week. And I remember it was
Jacksonville closed 1.5 point favorites? Wow.
It jumped up to like 2 at some points, I thought.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, it was 2 at some places.
Yeah.
2 at Circa.
So the more I looked at that, I'm like, oh.
I guess I got that.
So tomorrow or this Sunday, I'm going to rerun my numbers for the London game if there's some steam. Because,
what was up with that?
I would have probably thought about playing a little Chicago at least, and that would have been a no sweat winner. It was confusing steam, and I think what kept a lot of people away from that, and let's start with that game, was the travel thing got weird for Jacksonville. They had really no
defensive injuries for the Bears probably spooked some people too.
That too. The Brisker injury was spooky, but at the same time, it was like, oh, they traveled late. This offense isn't clicking. The offense still isn't clicking, man. There is everybody who plays anywhere outside of like offensive line is dropping the ball. It was a very weird stat line for some of these guys. Caleb was good. I mean, he's getting better. He had one massive error. Yeah, a missed field goal.
This kicker does not love the wind. He does not love the wind. Mike's point is correct. We missed the very obvious angle. The Javs have been to London before. There was a lot of those very, 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 very basic bitch handicapping angles that came through for people this weekend, and I'm
What
glad
did somebody tell me what Noonan bet?
Cash some money. It must have been missed kick because
must have been a Tyler Bass. Tyler Bass. The other one was blocked. My other notes were Caleb was good. One big mistake. Jags defensive coverage and tackling was sad. Cisco, Andre Cisco said it after the game. They quit. The Jags looked really good to start the day in that scripted plays. Honestly, that first drive, they looked pretty good. The rest of it was hammered dog shit, dropping balls, not tackling anybody.
Not tackling, yeah.
And luckily, they get to stay in town and pout. One of them, one guy doesn't. Defensive tackle Roy Robert Harris got traded to the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of town. He's pumped. Doug does want to change the culture, though.
He only has to adjust to 11 time zones different. That's a big one from London to Seattle. Anyway, I don't have anything to add. I think that was a great summary. I will note that tread carefully adjusting the Bears because
everybody they've played, everybody they've beat has one win.
Yes. Yeah. And they keep getting better every week. The offensive line keeps playing better every week, and Caleb Williams has got a couple of easy defenses he gets to go against coming up soon where he may not be under much pressure. But I think you need to use kid gloves when you're upgrading this team because of the opponent being the factor. And also the market is telling you this week that the Bears were not to be respected. So if you upgrade them all with this performance, like you're going to be on the Bears next week. I promise.
Injuries. The long snapper obviously got hurt. You remember? Yeah. Komet ended up filling that. I'm sure they'll get a new long snapper if.
Yeah, I saw a note they already did. Yeah.
Kyler Gordon. Defensive back Kyler Gordon was ruled out in the second half. Keep an eye on his hamstring. The Jags had Darnell Savage and Jerrion Jones evaluated for concussions when they ran into each other. I haven't heard any news on that. Anton Harrison's supposed to be fine. ETN is week to week. Doesn't matter. He stinks. And they, like we said, they lost another piece up front because they traded them because they are a seller at the deadline.
Yes, they are. Dougie P's swan song against the Patriots this week, win or lose?
If they lose to Caleb May, there's no chance you bring them back to Duval County.
The Caleb May double loss. Yeah, absolutely. If you beat Drake May, though, you're probably still letting him walk. I think.
I still did it. Yeah. Either way, if you lose to two rookie quarterbacks in a row. You're home away from
take it out of the owner's hands and you're just automatically fired.
Yeah, that should just be like.
Yeah. Those are the rules. Sorry, Doug.
One of those where what's the damn game from the stupid movie? The Harry Potter game.
The Harry Potter game.
Rule.
The Quidditch.
Quidditch. Oh yeah, hey,
golden snitch.
Here's a whole bunch of rules, but if you get this one thing, the game's over.
It's over.
It's the stupidest rule. So losing to two,
it is a very terrible rule.
Should be a golden snitch or whatever. What game is next? Tampa, New Orleans.
Yeah. Wow, what a fucking insane game, man.
I thought that was an easy win. It turned out to be an easy win. Oh yeah, 17-0 to what? 27-24 down and then a 50 burger. Baker was inconsistent but great at times.
Yeah.
But when it was bad,
it was bad. Hard shot at one point. I thought he might be done for a little while, but he came back out and he kept playing great. And there was some spite points by the Bucs here. There was some spiteful offense run by the Bucs late. And Aaron Rodgers just a sitting duck. I think the Bucs offense, as long as Evans and Godwin are healthy, should just be considered in the top 10 tier.
Dangerous.
They are very, very good. The fact that you're getting contributions now from Roy Davis types out of the backfield.
Sean Tucker. Yes.
This is a joke, by the way. I know it's Ray Davis. I'm making a joke. Yes, Sean Tucker. I saw him getting the ball a couple times. I was like,
linebacker. Dude, he was the one that had the really nice kick return.
Yeah.
So he had that nice kick return a few weeks back. I'm like, oh, Mike Alstead on the kick return. What do we got here? Also, Sean Davis. Am I even getting his name right?
Sean Tucker.
I think he's your rushing leader for the week.
I think he is too. Yeah.
I think that still stands through the Sunday game, and obviously this game we haven't seen.
Yeah, I mean Ray Davis he's threatening.
He's threatening.
He's threatening.
My only other notes here was Radler was better than I thought he'd be, considering the injuries and the time to prep. The picks and the sacks were not good, but he made some throws. Rattler and May had very similar games. Like those are some bad turnovers. Those are some bad sacks. But you made a couple nice throws. It was the kombucha meme.
Yeah.
But somebody named Bub Means was getting the ball a bunch because they were down some.
Yeah, that's the other major takeaways from the game. So Winfield was back for the Bucs. That's great. Saints, the entire offense is hurt. The entire offense.
And another nice day from Vita Vea, Defensive Player of the Year.
He's like the third best D tackle, man, after Chris Jones and Lawrence.
I know, he just got to get like 18 sacks. They've been bull rushing him. Olave, you remember the hit? He was concussed. He didn't practice today.
Rashid knee. They're calling it concerning. I don't like that.
That wasn't great. Carr's still out for some time. Honey Badger hurt his arm. Alante Taylor left with the shoulder injury, came back. The Bucs had Jamal
Foster Moreau's good, though. You made a good point. Foster Moreau's fine.
And the fullback. Jamel Dean was ruled out with a hamstring. I didn't get an update on that yet. That would be problematic for a team that's just starting to get healthy. Arizona Green Bay.
What an awesome performance by the Packers. Enjoyed every minute of this. Didn't ever really feel like there was much risk of them coughing up this lead. And I think tough to really kind of evaluate what happened, what went wrong with the Cardinals. Their defense just didn't put up much resistance early, and then they were in a super negative game state with a bad offensive line, and it just all fell apart. Packers right now are my fifth best team. What do you think?
I don't think you're crazy. Yeah, I bet this is one
Brees
where I
Hall
did make
can't
some
beat
money.
DeMar Hamlin or one guy. Who was that? Number 9?
Green Bay is my 6th best team, but it's close.
Green Bay is your 6th best team? I have them a hair behind Detroit right now in the absence of Aiden Hutchinson. They're good.
Yeah.
Good
I'm
offense.
pretty close to those teams as well. Oh, yeah, I bet this team total, 40-24 in the first half. Pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty nice. I was a little worried that Arizona wasn't going to push them. Arizona didn't have a lot to offer in most of this game. And it was really strange because I didn't think the Green Bay defense played that well. They didn't put much pressure on Murray.
They're not that good.
They're not a very good pass rush. And this was supposed to be the get-right game. There's injured offensive linemen. This is not a good offense, it's not a great offense as far as pass protection at times. Murray's slippery, but they didn't have I think they had one hit, no sacks, barely any pressure. It was kind of troublesome because that's going to be a problem when you play good teams.
Yeah.
And then, the defense for Green Bay outside of that, though, they did show up. I mean, they showed up and they got the stops on third down they needed. The worrisome stuff is Wicks and Reed getting hurt. These wide receivers have made a glass somehow.
Did Reed get hurt?
Reed hurt his ankle. I think he's fine. Wicks is
they
out.
got Dubs and Watson, so
Wicks is week to week.
And
Watson, Watson looked fine. Speaking of wide receivers, Marvin Harrison Jr. is in the protocol. Zay Jones was activated to the active roster. I believe he was coming off a suspension. And then Kaiser White left with a knee injury at some point during the game as well.
He matters for that defense, which is already quite bad. James Conner only got 7 carries. That was weird. I was a little surprised that he was the 3rd leading rusher after Trey Benson and Amari DeMarcado. Maybe they're just trying to keep him fresh. I don't know.
This was a real... the fact that it didn't go over 47 was pretty wild.
Okay, moving on. Speaking of game day steam that got just thrashed, or not really thrashed, but what were we expecting? What did we see here? The Tennessee Titans got bet out to 2.5 point favorites over the course of the week. This was one way action. Titans. And to me, I read that as, I guess Anthony Richardson is playing, and somebody is very unimpressed by Anthony Richardson. But no, it was Flacco, and Flacco did Flacco stuff. I guess he's still got it, Andy. That was an impressive ultimate, 2 really kind of key impressive plays for him in this one. Another total that absolutely should have gotten over and did not. Will Levis was atrocious. He had some of the worst tape that he has put together this year so far, which is saying, I think, a lot.
This is going on a date with the easiest girl in town and ending up home alone at 8:30 after everybody else in the class has taken a run. You play the Colts, you got to score. 95 yards against this Colts defense. So bad. Huge indictment about where he's at as far as running this offense. He has good receivers. He has good running backs. Like this,
they had 146 yards in the ground.
Yeah. Good job, Pollard, by the way. Pollard was great. Especially he had that one run that was unbelievable because it was like a give-up run. Like, we'll just run the ball, and Pollard takes it. But if you can't score on this defense, you go for 95 yards, it's probably over. It's time to, and it sucks because like Mason Rudolph is clearly not a long-term answer. You don't really have somebody who's younger. It's like, well, should we see what we have in this guy? They traded Willis away. They should trade back for Malik Willis. That's the move.
He might be available.
Wouldn't that be crazy if Malik Willis gets a job?
Giving more compensation. Yeah.
Well, if Willis gets a job next year, he ends up in a competition, wins it, and he's good, and they're stuck with whatever the fuck is going on. Because Levis is a really tough hang. That's my only take. A lot of penalties too. Tennessee was just undisciplined. That looked bad. Lots of penalties. And I wrote down Levis just sucked in a normal way this week. It's usually it's him doing something hilariously stupid. Yes. This was just good old fashioned normal all American
terrible passing
at football.
Terrible passing. Yeah, inaccurate passing is really what it came down to.
The Colts did come out and say Richardson's the starter this upcoming week. So who the fuck knows what's going on there?
Yeah. I don't know that that's an upgrade. Not over Flacco. Not right now.
Spears,
so here's the question.
I don't.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. So Tennessee, do you pull the rug on Levis now when you have your next two games at Buffalo, at Detroit, Andy? Or do you let him literally just die on the fire? And Mason Rudolph when you're 1-6?
I mean, those are defenses you can get after. That's still a beat up Buffalo defense, despite getting healthier. They, without Milano for the season. It's still a defense you can get after. The safeties are still weak.
You need Detroit, to sustain drives and keep your defense off the field for both of those teams, though. And that's exactly what Will Levis can't do, and what Mason Rudolph might be able to do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Oh, I thought you were going the other direction. No, I think it's fine. Make the switch.
Oh, okay.
Willis getting traded back would be very, very funny. And they were off a bye. That was the game plan you put together against a bottom three defense off the bye.
If you were just like a true troll of a GM, you would give up a 7th for Willis to Tennessee, and then call him now and be like, "What do you think? A 6th for Willis?" try to send him back for a little more than you gave him.
It's a text you send at least. As a haha. Just kidding, Rand. Is it Rand Carthen?
Carthen. Yeah, just kidding.
There was some injuries for Indy too. Clowney is Titans, but
Clowney is a Panther.
Clowney Panthers, excuse me. But
allegedly,
we had
I haven't seen
Ryan Kelly, who missed some games. He didn't return after a hurt calf. Keep an eye on that. Centers are a dying breed this week. Cleveland, Philly. If you want to talk about a Cleveland Philly game, oh no.
Yeah, I don't really want to talk about this one.
I laid it. This is a bet. This is a bet I made. I finally just said, "Fuck it." I'm gonna lay the 8.5.
Me too.
They're 10 points better, and they deserve to cover it. Kudos, hat tip to Myles Garrett, the only guy trying. And I mean, that was a sick ass block. That was a crazy bad luck turnover / touchdown return. Anybody makes a tackle, it's probably a field goal instead. And they probably should have covered this game, but it's not like they clearly should have covered. They were so much better. There was a lot of bad looking play from the Philadelphia Eagles coming off bye. Two of these, so 2 in a row, Philly and Tennessee coming off bye, looking really shitty against a bad team.
Here's what I gotta ask you, man. So the 20 points for the Eagles that they scored in this game, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. This was a team that had almost 400 yards of offense, 6 yards per play. They converted 2 of 2 fourth downs. They had 0 turnovers, and yet they scored 20 points. That is a wicked red flag. I think this was. I don't even really know what to say about the Browns. I still think that there's scope for it being possible that Watson's trying to play himself out of the job so he can keep getting paid without having to play, without getting hurt. I think that's like in the realm of possibility because that's how bad he was on the high leverage downs. 3 of 12 on third down. Some of the specific plays that they called were easy button stuff. He just missed. There were procedural penalties here for the Browns. They just overall were sloppy and they feel lifeless. I can't imagine what it's like to be a veteran in that locker room right now and being like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why is this guy getting what he's getting money wise? And why are we letting him get away with how poorly he's playing? Because it's amazing.
Yeah. I don't know.
One of the weirder things that's happened in football in a long time.
I'm done litigating what's going to happen here because it seems that they're just fine continuing to run him out. And I don't know. They owe him so much money. I don't know if there's a right move here. I'm not sure what the right move is at all.
Did Mac Hollins initiate the contact on that? I think he did. He just like ran into.
Did we get along DPI?
I really hope not. I mean, this was uncatchable nonsense. I really hope they pick this flag up.
The only other notes: Browns were pretty good against the run. They picked it up. Saquon didn't have a very good day. The Eagles were.
He got his head
playing
around,
a team that was
and
DOA.
Mac Hollins ran into him.
It was offsetting.
That never should have been called. That never should have been a penalty called on Reed. Reed got his head around, and Hollins ran into him. This crew can go fuck off.
This crew can go pound sand.
This is terrible. This is terrible. Anyways, I'm sorry.
Stop me if you've heard this one before. A center got hurt. Nick Harris was carted off. He was only starting because Ethan Pocic was inactive with a knee injury.
Yes.
Pocic was only playing for somebody else. I can't remember who the starter was before him. Harris? No, Nick Harris was back in. Grant Delpit left. Grant Delpit didn't play. He had the concussion. See if he can make it back this week. Same thing with Ronnie Hickman. Nick Chubb is a possibility to start playing. He's got to be pumped to get back and get with his team. It's just dream scenario to be coming back after a long injury is the most
behind this line.
Situation.
Yeah.
For the Eagles, the Mailata injury is big.
Jordan Mailata.
He's going to be out a few.
It's actually secretly he's going to be out for a couple weeks, but secretly, like the Eagles' offensive line has really not been playing well.
Yeah.
And that's been a huge part of why they just overall haven't looked and felt very cohesive offensively. And now you take their best offensive, Lane Johnson's obviously a future Hall of Famer, but yeah, this is a
good comment from Zelensky.
Yeah. I honestly don't know who is in more dire straits right now between Philly and Dallas. You have two lame duck coaches. The Giants and Commanders might be better teams in that division. I really don't know what to make of any of the NFC East right now. My head is in a freaking blender.
So I made a case for this in the preseason pods. I said I kind of wanted to bet Vikings Bears finish first, second, any order at a longer price.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like that probably wasn't a massive price, but that actually has legs.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what the price would have been for Commanders Giants first, second,
in order? Yeah.
Like,
50-1. Yeah.
Yeah. Obscene.
I mean, it's any order. So you're getting two bets. It might have been like 15-1-ish. Yeah. 15-20. Yeah. Something like that.
Other issues. Dallas Goedert was ruled out with a hamstring injury. He matters. Darius Slay hurt his knee. He matters. He left with a knee injury. Keep an eye on all that this week. But the Mailata thing, he is out for a few weeks. I've already said.
I'm going to support Sam Lipscomb's Cooper DeJean, D-Roy campaign. We'll just note it when he does things. I have no skin in the D-Roy market at this point, at least people who have viable to win. So good luck to Cooper DeJean. But the Eagles are.
I have Broswell. Let's see what he did for Tampa. Broswell.
Sirianni doing the whole.
We had half a sack.
Fighting with the fans stuff. Like this is none of this is becoming.
Why would you fight with the fans? Isn't that you've literally hired someone to do that for you? Make Big Dom go do that. So
Yes.
silly.
So stupid.
It's a waste of
Sirianni,
energy.
terrible haircut on top, and then the kids as a human shield.
Not cool.
Really? All right.
We shouldn't be bad.
There was steam on the Patriots, Andy. I don't know if you saw that, but somebody took all the sevens. Happy to take them. Texans closed 6.5, and the Patriots turned the ball over and gave the Texans so many opportunities to score easy, obvious, go-ahead points that it really wasn't much of a contest. I don't think we learned much about Drake May other than they probably should have started him sooner because they're not going to win games regardless. So they might as well at least get him some valuable reps. But boy, is this a bad team around him. And we all kind of knew that. No way to upgrade the Texans from here. The Texans have a couple of tough tests coming up. Texans and the Packers are both really good teams. And their next little arc of the seasons are both super tough. And they play each other this week. Really fun teams to follow.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of notes on here. I already talked about May. He looked decent at times. He made some throws. Into tight windows. He also made mistakes that made him look like a rookie because he's a rookie. Like 3 bad turnovers. It's tough sledding against a good team. The whole situation, the entire game state, you're trailing, and it was just an onslaught. Even without Nico Collins, Stroud, Mixon, Dell, everybody, and the turnovers putting him in good position. Like you said, we didn't learn a lot about either team. You learned maybe a little bit that, exactly like you said, May probably should have started earlier. It's nice to get him these reps, get him the experience. They did lose another offensive lineman.
Sirianni, full Britney Spears. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Stop me if you heard this one, but the Patriots had an offensive lineman hurt.
Did you see they cut a guy too?
Yeah.
How could they even be cutting guys?
I don't know.
There's no way there's better people on your practice squad or on the street.
You can fill a hefty bag with a bunch of weight and put it out there, and it's probably about replacement level for them. The Texans had a player suspended. Mario Edwards got popped for PEDs. And then also on the same side of the ball, Azeez Al-Shaair hurt his knee.
Yeah. Will Anderson woke up, but it was against a quote unquote offensive line. So tough to put too much weight on that. Really the absence of Nico Collins was not felt. CJ Stroud did some nice things to some just different weapons, which was cool. No other thoughts there. We gotta really, really spend some time breaking down Green Bay Houston this week on the pod. I'm really keen on your thoughts of how that one I don't know what to do with that. Best game in the morning, best game of the week. Commies Ravens. Ravens were well supported in the market. The under got bet like somebody knew the final score. It ended up going over thanks to some fluky things and a DPI late. But ultimately, the key takeaways here, and this is kind of been a common theme of a lot this year, right, Andy, where we kind of look at the losing team and the losing quarterback who acquitted himself well against a good team, and we're like, all right, not bad. And I think you people probably come out of this game saying Jaden Daniels. Hopefully they say Jaden and not Jalen. Jaden Daniels, not bad. Yes, I've heard a lot about this kid. He just went up against a true contender, and he acquitted himself fine. Now, I will also say that if Wiggins doesn't commit the DPI late, the Ravens win this by 14 points, and maybe people have a little bit different takeaway.
Even that scoreline, if it ends up being a 14-point game, and I wrote this down today, I said they passed the sniff test. Because the command, the Bucks game, they came out against a terrible game state the whole time. First game, learning the ropes. Same thing with the Giants. Offense looked better. They went to the red zone 7 times. Couldn't score a touchdown. Still won that game somehow, which is quite amazing. And then you played the Bengals, the Cardinals, and the Browns. So you went Giants, Bengals, Cardinals. Bad defense, worse defense, worse defense. 3 weeks in a row. Then you played whatever the Browns are. This is finally a test now that Jaden has some, reps. He's looking like a starter, and he played a good team on the road. It's tough. And I think I can say hey, this defense stinks. It's getting a little more out of the pass rush. We'll get to that.
It's getting a little worse though. Yeah. Sorry.
It got hurt. We had a bad injury, but at the same time, this offense passes the sniff test, baby.
Yeah, it does. And I would say that the Ravens defense is a fun handicap because they're a pass funnel. So, what? Pass funnel was amazing. Did not expect that. And I would say that it's pretty impressive.
Their pass defense versus their run defense, guys. When you get on running backs, no matter any stat ever.
Yeah. Here's our homework for the week, though. Is it because of opponents? They've played they've played Mahomes and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels. Like, that's 4 of the top 5 quarterbacks, right? The only guy that they haven't played is Lamar Jackson, who is their quarterback. So I'm not sure it's a bad pass defense, and it's not just they're a great run defense, and they've gone up against quarterbacks who have just been forced to throw against them. So
they have been a good run defense.
We'll see. I will say this also. There is a little noise in the Commanders, and you brought it to my attention. Very, very prescient note from you in the deep dive newsletter. 10 for 10 on 4th down for the Commanders. Excuse me.
I think that was like Kevin. Somebody had talked about it last week. It was already high.
10 for 10. That is a little flukish. That's a little fluky.
Even the Eagles would miss one every once in a while last year.
Yeah, and some of these were like real low probability conversions, like 4th and 10s. Like there's been some real fluky stuff that's happening there. So that could be worth monitoring. But again, the NFC East is havable. Whoever wants to have it, have it. And the Commanders might be that team. So we'll see. Afternoon games sucked. Did you find anything entertaining besides just watch the memes about Jerry Jones and the Cowboys?
I mean, I had that Vegas team total under.
Nice.
So like once honestly, the Cowboys bet was so dead so early that I just kind of focused in on that game. And like, you remember, they scored immediately. They scored in their first drive. I had 16.5. So I'm like, this is going to be sweaty. So I ended up paying attention to the Pittsburgh-Vegas game way more than I thought I would. And congrats.
That was the most entertaining, silliest game.
Bottom of my heart, thank you, TJ Watt. That was great. But yeah, the Denver game was bad. The Cowboys game was bad. And then Falcons-Panthers, despite how you feel about, that was, I guess, a bunch of offense at times. That wasn't a good game either. So yeah, it was kind of a rough afternoon. Obviously, I had Dallas. You had Dallas. That one didn't turn out so hot. I mean, I don't want to skip to that one. So let's talk. I have Chargers Denver first. I don't know. Chargers. It's not like the Chargers offense was that good. Knicks wasn't great at all.
Denver defense and Pastor Chain getting hurt early really took the air out of that unit.
Once Denver gets down, because I looked at that game and I said this in the Discord. I said, I don't think the Chargers are this good, but there's just no chance I can bet on the Broncos from behind.
Yeah,
like, it's not a team.
There's
it's not
a
a
huge
team.
game state slice that is just they're
It's
dead.
not some. It's not a team that can back that way.
They found that slice pretty early,
and maybe the bet from there was a live under because that game did go over the pregame total. I believe it was like 36.
Yeah,
but I would have been interested. I might go check the live numbers with what they were if they were up in the low 40s at that point. Maybe that's the move if Denver's losing because they can't score and the other team just knows they have to play keep away at that point. Yeah, I don't have much on this.
Denver's not an enjoyable team to watch play football. Tell you that much. The Panthers are also not enjoyable unless you bet against them. And you were again there was Panthers money that showed up this week, Andy. And I guess you know what? Let me. We made some key points. The sharp money was correct about the Ravens. The sharp money was correct about the Chargers. Pushed that from 2.5 to 3. The sharp money was correct about the Steelers, although maybe that game was a little closer than 32-13. The sharp money was not correct about the Panthers. Falcons probably could have scored more than 38. There is some serious big boy chemistry going on right now between Kirk Cousins and Drake London. Bijan Robinson got involved here, and the schedule gods have kissed the Falcons on the forehead and said, "Go win games, my son." And boy, oh boy, are they going to run amok over this next few months and probably threaten the 1 seed in the NFC. Do what you want with that information, but they're playing well enough and Kirk looks good enough and they're well coached enough that I think at this point they're going to start compiling W's. That
It's
luck
crazy
box win
too.
against the Bucks and the Saints. Those luck box wins, that was their season.
That was like a 30-yard field goal.
Did he miss?
Yes.
The wind is swirling, man. It's swirling winds in the Meadowlands, Andy.
The Meadowlands are
How he missed it?
bang.
Very fun.
Yeah, the Atlanta number has been giving me conniption fits all year. Obviously, I started high on them. They look bad.
Yeah, why didn't you tell me Atlanta was going to be good now?
Fucking hate it. So annoying. They've just been like this because now I'm right back where I started. Micah Abernathy, safety. That one looks like he's missing time. Justin Simmons is going to be fine for them, the other safety. Troy Anderson is
bad defense, I guess.
Yeah, Troy Anderson isn't coming back this week, so it's still a bad defense.
Rush the passer.
And Carolina had some injuries. So like we said, Clowney's banged up, and then Claudine Cherilus, linebacker, was injured, did not return. So they lost that. They're still down Moten. He's day-to-day on the offensive line. They're kind of banged up too. They might get the rookie running back to start though. That'll be fun in that offense. And it might be an over team. Based on they're not complete. Well, they're just not completely dead on offense, man.
Yeah, they got a pulse.
But a lot of it comes in just low probability win time. It's not even garbage time because the game hasn't gotten that deep into the game yet, but it turns into like Carolina garbage time.
Yeah, honestly, NFC South is kind of fun. Absurd. Ridiculous.
I think so.
Like I did like a triple take that Bucks Saints closed 42, Falcons Panthers closed 46. Like, yeah, these are 4 dead nut over teams. I don't know what else to say.
I didn't even really think too hard about that Tampa over.
I didn't either.
I was so focused
on
the
immediately
side.
Regretted it. Yeah. Whatever.
What's the other cap? Lions beat the Cowboys and
Lion. Oh, we had a scoregami, right? 47-9.
We did. That was just an all-around ass whooping.
Yeah.
And when you start you can't have that kind of offensive output in a game that is it's either going to be a track meet or a blowout. And if that's what you put on tape from the offense, it's going to be a blowout. Like, this game was over so quickly once it realized, like, oh, they're not going to be able to stop anything Detroit's doing. You're hoping for field goals. If the offense isn't scoring 28 in that game, they're just completely dead. And then it turned into Dan Campbell taking out his aggression on the refs on the Cowboys.
I really can't figure out who the refs want to win this game. It's very confusing.
It's very
the Cowboys were not even really in it, despite taking an early lead in that game. It felt like it was some fluky stuff, like interception that came back on a flag, field goal, then the end zone. Once the end zone pick happened, it's like, oh,
it was over.
It's over. The game's over. And I will say this, the kind of when the Lions are clicking on all cylinders the way they were yesterday, like, my God, my God, that was something else. When you give Jared Goff 1 million years to make the beautiful throw that was designed for him, and there's the busting coverage all over the place, and then the running, I guess, like, there's cliches about establishing the run, blah blah blah, but like, when you are that good at it that you're literally forcing the opposing defense to, like, make adjustments to what they want to do and run more base or run heavy or just put more guys in the box, like, yeah, that, like, you win. Like, it's like your opening sequence in chess tip the board in your favor, and now you get to just freaking thrash with your weapons. And the Lions did it, and it was, like, impressive to watch. And I'm not over on Jerry Jones' birthday. Yes, the memes and the jokes about Jerry Jones were quite good. Everyone who was online burying Jerry Jones, well done, well freaking done. Hat tip to Mike McCarthy for showing up to work today. He was late, but hat tip to showing up. Boy, this was as bad a defeat as I can remember for a high-profile team, and it was against a meaningful opponent at home. So.
It was crazy. This was something you don't see from teams. You've seen it from the Chiefs when they go up against a good team in the middle of the season. You'll see it sometimes from a well-coached like Steelers team back when they were really good. But when a team comes out to play, and you can tell this is what you get during the playoffs from this team. Like they are in playoff mode right now. That's what we saw from the Cowboys. And that was impressive.
From the Lions, you mean?
No, that's how the Cowboys look in the playoffs. They pulled all the plugs and said, "This is playoff Cowboys football."
Playoff Cowboys.
Guys.
Yep. Everybody fail at your job at the same time. On three. 1, 2, 3.
I guess the Hutchinson injury needs to be discussed. Like how much it matters to you.
It matters a lot. I would have had the Detroit. Let me see what my number was on Detroit coverage wise. And
that's what I said to someone in the Discord. I said I have to lower their coverage number now.
Yeah,
Brian Branch
is not going to be as good. Yeah,
very good ball. Brian Branch is very good.
He's sick.
A lot of the other guys are not. And and the depth at the pass rush anywhere, the end, even inside, those guys are more run stop. It's not great. They actually lost another heavy as well. He's not the starter. It's Reeder and McNeil, but like Kyle Pecco, he's a guy who comes in on like heavy downs when they need run stop. They lost 2 defensive linemen, and it is going to hurt this defense in a couple of different ways. It's going to be an offensive upgrade, defensive downgrade, and it's probably going to move their number up for me in as a net, because I am going to have to upgrade this offense again. I was a little low on them, but the defense is going to move down. It's probably going to be a net gain.
I have a tough time telling you who the number 1 offense in the NFL is right now. There are very, very close, very, very good offenses now. And Detroit is in the conversation. Baltimore's in the conversation. I didn't think either of those preseason. I didn't think we're in the conversation, but they are. Detroit's defense is now 24th for me in the absence of Hutchinson. That's where I'm at. I think they're below average, but not like bottom 5. They're bottom 10. They're gonna have to make up for it with effort, which apparently they can. But I don't know. The backfill is not great there.
I had him 15th. I just did some real quick number moves, and it moved him to 24th. So is that what you said?
24th.
Yeah, I'll probably tweak this from here, but what I just did was a little. I had a run stop as a 7.
Yeah, I did too.
Even that has to come down a little. Rush went down. Coverage I had pretty low. I'm going to
38.3 percentile for me with the players available. Not a great time to,
Heat to, grave dance. I don't have a bet, but Jesus, what a good time for TJ Watt to punch 2 balls out that were very meaningful. He's definitely in the conversation.
I'm not really ready to go to war with TJ Watt at all. Give me some Nick Bosa at 12-1. I think he's the guy. I did a whole thing with Jay on this on Bet the Edge, so check it out tomorrow morning. We talked about everybody. Jay didn't really twist my arm on anyone, I didn't think.
I haven't looked at numbers. I'm gonna dig in a little. I'll listen to your pod in the morning and I'll dig in a little.
I still think Chris Jones deserves consideration just because he's so damn good, but he's not going to get the. I don't know.
And this one sucks. Like, Surtain has a bunch of picks. You know who leads the league in interceptions?
Somebody weird, right?
It would be somebody you told Sam Darnold to not throw to.
Oh, McKinney. Yes,
McKinney has 5.
He's probably 6th or 7th choice right now in DPOI market.
Splash plays. But what if he has 10 interceptions?
Here's the thing. You ready?
Yeah.
I want a pass rusher. End of story. And I want a guy whose underlying stats say that he's the best pass rusher in the NFL. And I want it paired with an offense that's going to put opponents under pressure to score and in must-patch situations. And that is the Niners, and that is Nick Bosa.
And the defense
and the pedigree. The pedigree matters for this award. And he's got it because he's won it before.
What if The only worry for me for Bosa is if there is, God, I shouldn't even fucking say this. I'm just joking. What if the election goes away where he didn't want it and he enters a federal building and gets in some sort of trouble? No, so, he's very good. I don't hate that look at all.
According to pro.nfl.com/stats/defense, Nick Bosa leads the NFL in pressures with 34. He is third most in quick pressures with 15. That's like more than TJ Watt has, period, right? Period. TJ Watt has
I want to hold you in
17 pressures. So Nick Bosa has almost as many quick pressures as TJ Watt has total pressures. This was the real wild one. Nick Bosa's get off time 0.67 seconds is that is
high school.
That is real fast. He's not even a 1 second man. He's a 0.6 second man. And that is the only like guy that's even in that conversation is Myles Garrett at 0.68. Myles Garrett, I'm assuming will at some point be, let's put him on ice for next year, right?
He's been banged up. He's already
I'm assuming they're going to put him on ice at some point.
And the other thing that hurts, the thing that hurts Watt too is the absence of Highsmith and Herbig.
Yes.
Like not having your battery mates, that isn't.
And not having an offense that's going to score points, that's going to put other teams in must-pass situations.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple of things that I think Watt is a bet against that price. I don't think that's right. And I know that I feel like I say this.
Oh yeah, I like him to win it. I think he can win it, but at price, yeah, it's definitely not up.
Yeah. So give me Nick Bosa for all of the reasons in the world. And the only reservation I had, and again I'm repeating myself here, so apologies if you go listen to Bet the Edge, but he is perennially an underachiever on pressure to sack ratio. I don't understand why. It feels like he is like just a little bit too late, a lot for some reason. And hopefully he can actually materialize some of his pressures into sacks and be the sack leader, because I think he's going to have to. But again, like the underlying stuff,
did that last year too.
Time to pressure, quarterback, quick pressures, get off time. All of it is screaming he is the best pass rusher in the NFL.
I don't remember what the exact metric was or if it was something he made up, but Noonan was talking about that too, where it's just like this guy doesn't convert sacks for some reason. Yeah, and he should. I don't
understand it.
So that might be the only cold water you can throw on this is like for some reason, and maybe we said this in the preseason. I think we talked about it. We said maybe with some of the pieces they've added, maybe you get a little more out of
scheme adjustment, a little something. I don't know.
I think we were hoping for a little more out of Leonard Floyd to help him along with this.
Yeah.
And
the only other guy that
the linebackers aren't good at times outside. Ward's great, but Devondre Campbell isn't helping.
The only other guy you got to keep eyes on, Andy, Dexter Lawrence. Just because he's a Giant and the New York voters do stupid shit about the Giants. They love the Giants, and Dexter Lawrence is going to be all pro one, and he is going to probably steal some of the shine if he keeps on this pace of he's already got 7 sacks somehow. And it feels like his presence matters a lot too. So he's ultimately probably going to cut Chris Jones, which is why, again, I think I like Nick Bosa the best at price.
No. And nobody's talking about freaking Van Ginkel because he's off this week. What's crazy? Pat Jones has 5 sacks.
How in the world? He's a Viking.
Yeah, he's a Viking. He is not. I mean, Grenard has 4. But the weird one too, and it sucks because if he actually puts together a crazy season and does something weird and wins this, I'd be very mad at Will McDonald, who I bet for defensive rookie of the year last year.
Oh,
he's an animal. Like his pressure rate is through the roof, and he has 6 sacks as well. It's just the Jets aren't. Fuck, maybe I should check his box score. Maybe he has another one today.
Incredible. All right. Well, no thoughts on the night game other than Dexter Lawrence might be a.
Will McDonald has a sack tonight. He has 6 sacks. He has 7. If he gets another sack, he is your sack leader in the NFL.
Jesus,
watch for that in the fourth quarter. The night game. We already said it. We were probably lucky to get the Bengals there, but the Giants didn't play all that well.
Bengals were lucky to get the Bengals there.
Yeah,
they could have lost that game easy.
We must have got our
you're 25. You're 20. Was it 20 yards in both halves?
25 yards in both halves.
You got it.
I love funny props like that. Good job, Alan Lazard. Rogers puppet master controlling the offense.
The Watt Lazard. All right. I don't know.
Real quick.
Yeah.
On that, the night game. So Burrow got hit hard. Came back.
He did.
I don't think anything came of that, but
I didn't hear or see anything.
I would watch the injury reports early in the week because he got fucked up. Like he got lifted and body slammed. That was a hard hit. Slayton was evaluated for concussion for the Giants. Very curious to see if we just get Malik Neighbors back at some point. That's going to be kind of important for them. The other one too, the Pat Surtain one. So they play Thursday. Just no shot, right?
No shot.
If you get put in protocol, the odds of playing Thursday are 0. So
I would guess.
I know he's in protocol, but man, I'm penciling him out for the Broncos right now.
I would as well. I don't have many thoughts on the. Don't have many thoughts. Oh my god, that's gonna be hilariously bad.
It's be 42.
I don't have many thoughts on the upcoming week, really, other than I need to do more homework on some of these games. The only number that really, really stood out to me when I looked at my first crack and the spreads was Giants Philly. Don't understand that one. Need to kind of hear from people who feel like Philly's got anything special at all. Yeah. 3, juicy 3, really. Not that I love going over with the Giants, but yeah. Big misses for me on the Jacksonville New England game, saying bet New England. Jets Pittsburgh potentially.
I have a question on that one.
Yeah.
Go ahead and finish up.
Rams Raiders, saying bet Rams. And Miami Indy, saying bet Miami. Any thoughts?
Baltimore. I like Tampa Bay at home, but I always like Tampa Bay, so that's not a surprise. I have a bet the Chargers number, which I want to revisit because I'm not so sure I love that idea. Those are both Monday night games. We're going to get a double Monday nighter. My numbers say bet New Orleans with Rattler on Thursday night. That's certainly not going to happen.
Yeah, no, I'm there too, but I can't. I just assume that because I can't properly account for the injuries to the Saints.
Yeah,
I think too, man. Did you see that? Yeah. How many missed kicks tonight now? 4? 1 extra point and 3 field goals.
Extra point. This is great. We have a second half under. This has been electric. It might go to overtime. We get a 12-point overtime. My numbers also say
I want a 20-20 tie so that we
say this game under the Philly
preview.
I haven't downgraded Philly yet, but my numbers say that is a bet. I don't love the idea.
Yeah, Mailata. Yeah, but that offensive line against the Giants D line looks like a problem to me.
And a weird one. I want you to answer me on this. So look ahead on the New England Jacksonville London game was 40, and that is reopened at 43. It looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know. You
New England's an overteam now,
I guess.
And also the Jags defense, they quit out loud.
Yeah,
I honestly can't. I don't think I can bet that game other than New England because, like honestly, this is as clear a, the Chargers quitting on Staley type of situation that we've had this year, right? I mean, since that game, this is the most obvious example of a team literally ready to send a message to the owners. I don't know.
I didn't see a lot of other big adjustments off the totals. It looks like, Washington, Carolina. That was 48.5. That's up to 52.
Correctly.
Yeah, that's probably correct. Same thing with Seattle, Atlanta. That was 47.5. Seattle's coming in with extra rest.
Correctly.
Atlanta with defensive injuries. That's up to 51. The Cleveland Cincinnati total dropped because this is ineptitude on ineptitude with a bad Cleveland offense against a bad Cincinnati defense. And they should be able to limit the Cincinnati running game a little bit too. So I kind of agree with that one. That's it. That's kind of it for bigger adjustments. I don't have a ton on totals yet because it's a little early in the week for that sort of thing. But there is a Baltimore Tampa. Maybe I am looking at an over there as well because I think that number probably could be a little higher than it is right now for a Monday night. That should probably be 49.5.
It'd be fun if this game was decided by a punt return.
Has that ever happened in a Jets game?
On Monday Night Football in the Meadowlands?
What would you make the Denver New Orleans total? Is 37 too high?
I'm at 37.4.
I'm a little lower. I'm gonna have to dig in a little.
I'm projecting it as basically a 20.
Certain out probably has me off that. I'm fine.
Okay.
Vegas Rams. I have that as a slight under. I'm gonna have to look at why.
I make that under also. My number on that would be
3.5. I'm at like a 42.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll have more. We'll actually talk about the games in depth on Wednesday. Maybe make some bets. I had some looks. I did just because I needed some filler, and I had the time. I bet some look aheads on Friday. Never fails to make you feel good about yourself to get some
4 for 4 on CLV.
Ugly, like fake early CLV on look aheads just because those teams won.
Yeah.
The biggest one was Rams. Rams -4 was kind of a dumb line, I thought.
Yeah, they're coming off a bye. A lot healthier.
That one felt pretty good. Vegas looks a little shitty. So that's one I would probably still bet at 5.5.
Yep. Okay, let's call it. Job.
Let's call it a night. Hit the thumbs up if you liked hanging with us. And if you aren't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. That helps.
That was a nifty little animation.
I don't know where I stole that from, but yeah, for me and Drew, enjoy the rest of your Monday night. Will McDonald, let's get a sack. Because that'll be funny. I might bet if he gets a sack, if he gets his 7th sack, I will bet him for PPO.
I wouldn't promise that. I also don't think he's going to get one because Josh Allen's tough to sack, and I don't know what. I have no idea who's going to win this game. These two teams, I think our unders good. I hope.